Hey, g'day, Steve Barker from I'm Enough Coaching. How you going? I've come on to continue with our little series around becoming leaders of self. And this morning I did a post on Facebook about responsibility and how important it is that we take responsibility for everything in our lives. Now, as a leader, our responsibility is to lead by example, to do the things that need to be done, to have the self-discipline and the purpose and the passion that I discussed last time when I was talking about this. So let's talk about responsibility and what it is. It's a really interesting topic and one that needs to be explored, because we all think about taking responsibility as doing the right thing, is stepping up and being accountable. It is that, but it's so much more as well. Now, if you were able to break down the word responsibility into two parts, you'd see that we were able to see that we got response and ability. Now, the way that we respond to something determines our ability to do something about it. Now, when we break this down, it's really simple. It's above the line and below the line thinking. So when we're below the line, we're at blame, we're at cause, we are creating issues, we are playing the victim, we are making it all about ourselves. We are, hey Helen, how are you going? Nice to see you again. We're talking about addictions. We're talking about expecting someone else to change their actions before we take our own actions. So this is below the line thinking. This is, where we have a low response rate. So this is response over here and our ability is here. Now, if both of those, if our response is low level, our ability to do something about it is also low level. Whereas if our response is higher, so we're taking responsibility, we're having a go, we're saying yes, we're being kind to ourselves, we're doing the things that we need to be able to do, we're finding out what's in the way, we're saying yes and working out how to get there, then our ability to be able to respond to that is going to be so much more. So let me give you an example. We've had a vehicle accident, we've had a car accident, we've been out driving around in our car and we've bumped into someone. Now, we can either determine quite quickly with our response that it's somebody else's fault, that it is their problem, or we can choose to be above the line and go, accept our responsibility. Because when we have an accident, generally it takes two people to have an accident, so there's got to be some level of responsibility in there. Now, I'm not saying that you have to wholeheartedly take responsibility for everything in our lives, because sometimes we can't do things, we can't influence things. Certain things such as the sun rising and setting in the east and the west, the tides coming in and out, we've got no control over those. We just need to accept the responsibility that we can control, that we're responsible for. Now, it may only be 1 or 5% of something, but we own 100% of that 5%. So this is where we can start to really break down our ability to be able to respond. We can look at our mindset. We can look at the filters that we're using to be able to take on board the information. As I said in my Facebook post, the written one, when we talk about being able to be responsible, and if we're below the line, what we start to notice is that our solutions are not really for the greater good. They sort it out for ourselves, but we're not actually assisting other people or being there for the greater good. What we also notice is when we're below the line, when we are, have a low ability, is that we will go over the same thing over and over again. We'll keep revisiting the same problem. We will not have come to a good solution. So what we find is that becomes frustrating, it becomes annoying, it becomes draining. And we will walk away from a situation going, geez, that was bloody hard work. Why was that such hard work? Well, it's generally because you're below the line. So we're able to recognize and calibrate where we are when we can think of response and ability, and above the line and below the line thinking. If you wanted to change that, the low level of responsibility, all we have to do is flip it on its head. We just have to change it. How can I be more responsible? How can I start to have a go? How can I embrace the uncertainty? How can I let go of judgment? How can I be open to feedback? All of these sort of things are ways that we can take responsibility for things. It's also key to self-discipline. Having the ability to be able to go, yep, I'm responsible for that. I'm going to do something about it. Or that's my area of concern. I'm going to drive forward with that. Rather than going, well, that's not my area of concern. That's somebody else's problem. A great example. Here's a good one. You know, filling up the dishwasher at work or washing up the cups in the sink. Who's responsible for that? Now, I know that this creates a whole heap of tension and drama at work. When people are unable to take responsibility for washing up their own cups or doing the washing up because they're on the roster, what happens? Everybody starts to blame each other. Nobody takes responsibility. Nobody takes any action. And what we start to find is that people will then start to judge each other. They'll bag each other out. There'll be water cooler talk. There'll be titter-tattle and gossip going on. All because nobody's taking responsibility for cleaning up their cups afterwards. Whereas if you took a response and you said, right, okay, I'm either going to do the washing up, I'm going to do my own washing up, whatever the roster says, or I'm going to go and speak to the person who's meant to be doing the washing up this week. This is how you can start to deal with that issue. So if we're going to be a leader of ourselves, we need to be able to be responsive and have the ability to be able to do something about it. So when we are leaders, we are being looked at for examples, looked at for people who are going to follow us. And if people, you know, the young people in our lives, especially the little people, these sort of people are the ones who are going to look up to us and go, oh, well, they're doing that and that's okay. So remember, if your response is below the line, you're setting a benchmark for that young person to have below the line thinking. So don't get the shits when they turn around to you and say, I'm not cleaning my room, because they've probably seen you not doing something. So if you want to be a leader within your family environment, take the responsibility, take the action and do what's required. Have the mindset to say, yes, this is my area of responsibility. Yes, I can do this. Find out more about how you can do it. Bring some curiosity, all of those sort of things. Because when we can wholeheartedly accept our responsibility for things, this is when we start to do things. So responsibility is key to being a leader of ourselves. Now, if you're interested, what I've started to do is to put together an online training program called Leadership of Self. It's a really great program that will help you become an emotionally intelligent leader of yourself. Now, all the great leaders in our days have all been wonderful leaders of themselves first before they've gone on to be leaders of other people. So, taking that from history, we can understand the importance of being able to become a leader, a good leader within ourselves. So I really encourage you, if you're interested, if you're finding these live videos interesting and you want to take it to the next level, if you really want to enhance your skills, then hit me up, send me a message, comment in this short video that you're interested and I will send you the details. I'm looking for 10 people, only 10 people, that's just 10 dedicated people who want to grow themselves, who want to become the very best version of themselves, who want to be a leader, who want to inspire those around them, who want to create their own environment. 10 people only who are going to be up for this challenge. Now, because it's the launch of this program, I'm doing it at a heavily reduced price point, so you will be saving, you know, at least 50%. You're going to get full materials. You're going to get all the materials from the workshops. You're also going to get live access to me. So you'll be able to reach out to me at any point and get support. So I'll be able to personalize the training to meet your needs. So if you are interested in this, please hit me up down below and let me know. Places are already starting to fill up. So if you're interested in becoming a leader of yourself, to become that role model that you want to be for your kids, or you want to get on further in your career, you want to move forward, you want to start to become a leader, but you're not quite sure how to do it, then this is the workshop for you. All right, so I'm going to continue with these lives. I know people are finding them valuable. I'm getting messages and content back saying that they are enjoying them. So this chapter was all about self-leadership and responsibility. If you take nothing else away from this, take away this: response and ability. Our response to something will determine our ability. If we have a low level of response, gudunk, we're below the line, then our ability is below the line. If we have a high level of response, then our ability to do something about it is above the line. You're in control of your destiny. You're in control of how you live your life and what goes on around it. Become a leader of self and take responsibility. My name's Steve from I'm Enough Coaching. It's been great talking to you. Speak to you again soon. Any questions? Hit me up down below. Toodaloo.